So how to make up the breaking of the fast? If you did a sexual intercourse, of course, intentionally. So there are three options you have. The first option, which is the best option to do, is freeing a slave. Did I explained to you about freeing the slave last time, right? And how important is freeing slave is, right? Because freeing a slave is one of the things that Prophet Muhammad did to actually banish and to finish the slavery. So every time you do something wrong, and the best thing to do and to have a reward for it is freeing a slave.
Right.
So he did it gradually. So anybody that they want a reward, free a slave every time. So if someone does a sexual intercourse in the day of Ramadan, then the first thing they should do is freeing a slave. Second is fasting 2 months for each day is broken intentionally.
That's whew.
That is, this is how serious it is.
Don't do it.
Yes, don't do it. Feeding 60 poor people for each day is broken. 60. And of course, this is sexual intercourse. Now, if you have your excuse, that's different.
Right. Yeah.
You know, that you only
This is
feed
intentional.
one. Yeah, that's intentional, right? So a man came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, I am ruined, O Prophet of Allah. The Prophet ﷺ said, what is the matter? He said, I had sexual relation with my wife while fasting in Ramadan. The Prophet ﷺ said, can you afford to manumit a slave? He said, no, I'm poor. The Prophet ﷺ said, can you observe Sawm? That means to fast for 2 successive months. He said, no. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, can you afford to feed 60 poor persons? He replied in the negative. Later on, an arak big basket containing dates was presented to the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ said to him, take this basket and give it in charity. So to make up, because the man was too poor, he couldn't afford to feed, and probably he was sick, he couldn't actually fast. So subhanallah, somebody came and he offered the Prophet ﷺ with big basket of dates as a charity. So he gave that charity to this man and he said, go and give it to the other people and Allah will forgive you. So take this basket. The man said to poorer people than we, O Allah Messenger, by him who has sent you with the truth, indeed there is no house in between the two mountains of the city, talking about Medina, poorer than us. He's talking about himself, that he's too poor. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, go and feed it to your family. See the mercy of the Prophet ﷺ. Yes. Yeah. So how to make up a breaking of fast when masturbating? So when masturbating and it is in the middle of the day and you broke your fast, intentionally, of course, the best thing to do is to continue the day. Just continue the day fasting and then make up that day. Okay? Just make it up. What about eating and drinking intentionally, or injections, or breaking the fast intentionally? Again, you continue the day fasting. Don't just like, I just broke my fast, I'm just going to go to the fridge and start eating. No, that's that's a punishment for you. You keep your fasting, you observe your fasting until the end of the day. But then what you need to do is
Well, that one says is not make it up. It says to do like the sexual.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's say that it's the first day of Ramadan and you still didn't get used to it. Your habit is just to open the fridge and eat. If you eat and you broke your fasting, but then after an hour you remember that, oh my goodness, this is Ramadan, I shouldn't be eating, then the scholars, they say it's okay. You don't even have to make it up because you actually unintentionally, it was just like you just broke your fast because, and even like if you have eaten a whole chicken, you don't even have to make it up because you just forgot.
Right.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive you.
And then I heard some people say that if you took a sip out of water accidentally, whatever, Allah meant for you to have that.
Yes.
So you don't.
Yes.
It's not.
It is your sustenance. Allah wrote it for you. Yeah. So forgetting does not nullify the fast, and the person can stop eating or drinking once they remember and continue the fast.
Okay. There we go.
Yes.